Maybe we'll do it this way.
Maybe we'll do it this way. There we go. 3 seconds in already. Hey, everybody.
Hello. Man, every time you say that, it reminds me of who's the Sesame Street character? Gromit?
Gromit?
No, that's not his name.
Kermit?
Elmo.
Oh, Elmo.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Elmo. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
You sound like Elmo. I'm going to start calling you that.
That'd be great. I love Elmo. Elmo was like a big deal. Well, yeah, your girls are just a little younger than Alex, so Elmo was the shit.
See, we didn't do the Sesame. We didn't do the Elmo.
You didn't do Elmo?
No, I don't remember what was Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse was a big deal.
We did nothing with Mickey.
Oh yeah,
when Alex was a kid.
The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I got that song on lockdown.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even know.
I won't sing it to you because I'll sing it for a week.
Now, like I Mouseketeers, I know used to be a thing.
Yeah, no, this Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was like the reinvention of the
I think that may be like cable versus no cable.
Well, no, this is my children.
That's what I mean.
Oh.
Like, did you have cable when they were little?
Yeah,
and I did. I didn't. I don't think I had it when she was little.
Oh, I
think that's what I mean.
I see.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Hey,
hello, everybody. Good thing we sorted that out. Thanks for watching.
Right. Thanks for your patience.
We're not really sure why this is Rachel Headley posting to ex-ambassadors because Facebook, we love you. And when I say that, I mean Rachel and Shelley love you. But your new application for your update for living sucks. So like 2 syllables.
We think we've got it. It says I'm posting to ex-ambassador. So we're going to find out. Yeah. So we just decided at 2 minutes after that we needed to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I'm going to kick off with a joke.
Really I know that way, by the way.
Thanks.
Like it.
I'm going to kick off with a joke, so don't forget to do it. Peyton told me this one last night or 2 nights ago. Why does a squirrel swim on its back?
I don't know, Meg. Why does a squirrel swim on its back?
So its nuts don't get wet. It was really funny to watch the girls figure out the
double entendre.
They were both like, because what if it's a girl? What if it's a female squirrel? And well, it's supposed to just be your nuts. And they're like, yeah, I know. Okay. So that was my entertainment the other night.
It's very entertaining.
Yep.
Good job. I like it.
On to the announcements.
All right, on to the announcements. Happy Earth Day, everybody. It is actually the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. And
Mother Nature is celebrating with impending doom, aka COVID-19.
That's right. Well, good for her. Yeah. She's having all of this fresh, clean air. Who would guess? All right. For our big thing that you've probably are sick about hearing about, but we're going to tell you again anyway, is that starting Monday for an hour a day at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, we're going to do a live Zoom call. If you'd like to be in on that, it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be about remote work, about how you go through change, how other people go through change and how to help them through that change. And then thinking about how do we all go back to work and figure that out. I mean, don't get me wrong, all the parents will be skipping and throwing daisies all the way back to work because the daycares will be back open or the grandparents will be available or whatever. But so that is what we're going to talk about. Who should attend are individuals, leaders. We have CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs. It's been really amazing. We have really, really cool people signed up all the way from New Hampshire to Washington State to Toronto. They're from all over. So it's going to be really, really good. So, and if you like to meet people and you want to have some perspective outside of your immediate area or outside of your organization, there's going to be some amazing people there. I'm not going to tell you who. You're just going to have to come and find out because it's awesome. So remote work and parenting webinar today at 3:00. So at less than an hour from now, Meg and I are going to be back on with Elevate Rapid City. We're talking about how to deal with parenting and remote working at the same time, which we all know stinks. And let's see what else. The Hero Club Battleship Forum. That's a C-suite network event. There's people, 250 people on every single day. I think it's free to attend. So if you're interested in they have rear admirals and Tomcat fighter pilots and all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're into that kind of leadership and connecting with people that way, you're check that out on Jeff Hazlett's LinkedIn page or C-Suite network is also the piece there. You want to do the next one since it's yours?
Yep. I was on the Jeff Crilly show this morning with Jeff Crilly himself. Jeff is a famed PR news anchor, journalist, legend. That's not what his bio says, I'm sure. I just made all that up, but it's something like that. Really nice guy. Great to have a conversation with him this morning. Talked a little bit about accountability and what I learned from my growing up on the ranch. So look forward to seeing that come out. Actually, they're really fast on their wrap downs. I think he said I would get it this afternoon. So you'll probably be able to see that pretty soon.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah. Tomorrow and Friday, the Smart Femme Virtual Summit. It's free to join for women authors, speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs. So if you fall into one of those buckets, check out the Smart Femme website, which is smartfemme.com. Shelly's going to put a link.
Put links for all the things, I would imagine.
In the comments. All right, so the weekly quote. Fixer leaders genuinely appreciate their team and know that if they go the extra mile for their people, the sentiment will be returned tenfold. Wah, wah, jokes on them. Okay, weekly writing prompt. That's on page 37 in the book.
Right.
Weekly writing prompt. We are overloaded with professional development options right now. Look back to last week's writing prompt and the list of skills you want to grow this year. Do some research today and seek out professional development options that will help you with them. Make time and set dates. Make sure that the business continuity blueprint is on your list of skills that you want to have. And then you can go to our products page on our website and sign up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, we do have some, one of the things to think about is if you're an individual embedded in a team, then understanding how everyone is dealing with things all around you and how you could position yourself better for returning to work and all that is you will be a massive step ahead of everybody else who's going to come back and just be freaking out. So it's $79. So super accessible for everybody. We did that on purpose so that we could serve people that really are interested in developing those skills. So check it out. All right. So that's our announcements.
Current events for the day. The headline we're going to talk about is Chipotle to pay 3.6 million burritos in norovirus case. So Chipotle, you know them, you love them, you eat them. Chipotle burritos apparently can make you sick because they haven't done a great job with sanitation efforts and food handling efforts, not just in the recent past, but in the past also. So we talked a little bit this morning about, what does that really mean as far as their culture goes? So this isn't the first time they've been in the courtroom and allowing these, whether they don't have the processes put in place or whether they're allowing people to break the process, they're allowing bad behavior one way or another. And so the real issue probably with the culture at Chipotle is that there is a culture of a lack of accountability.
I would imagine this might be rampant at places beyond Chipotle, thinking about sort of fast food, hourly workers, a lot of turnover because people are coming and going from college or not, or part-time work. But the reason that Chipotle probably gets more in trouble is they have a lot more fresh food. And so like McDonald's, who has a lot of like hot food, maybe they would have the similar problem, but it's not, the processes they have are different.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't look enough into, well, we're not experts. Well, we're just guessing. So what would our recommended solution be?
Yeah, I think the recommended solution I would have for Chipotle is to first make sure that you're, I would be curious to know what the culture types are sort of generally for their people who are working actually in the
line.
Yeah, Sure. We'll say that in the line. And Chipotle, I remember when it came out, or maybe when I knew about Chipotle, I was like college probably, because I crawled out from under the rock I lived in
Belle Fourche,
and I went to a city
that had Chipotle.
And I was like, man, this is like hip and cool and fresh, and their advertising and marketing was really about like a cool new way to eat fast food that's healthy and whatever. And I would be curious to know if they end up hiring more chaos tolerant people, because
that's their brand.
That's kind of their brand, is to be
interesting,
innovative and forward thinking and
cool. It's kind of like cool. The next thing.
Yeah. And so if that hiring, if that culture seeps down into the hiring practices all the way into their frontline workers, perhaps those folks would be less diligent in following the rules.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know where in the process that happens, because there is, there's food. Is it food that is outdated that they're serving? Is it food that's not kept at the right temperature? Where in that process are things breaking? Is it all of it? And so,
or is someone like sneezing and then touching stuff? Could be
and
that
then
too.
The things. Well, yeah, the norovirus is, it's the throw up diarrhea virus. So the stomach flu that we all call it. So, but yeah, like I worked at McDonald's for 3 years, and they were really, really hardcore about checking dates. Every day at the end of the day, you would go through the coolers and throw out the stuff that was outdated. They had cooling stations, and they were always checking the temperature. So not that we never got anybody sick, not that I know of. But I wonder then where in that stage, I'm sure they have to have food safe processes. So there must be some breakdown, I guess, on the culture side, because I'm sure that either they're putting money over waste, because that was one number that the managers always looked at, was how much waste versus revenue they had, because they had to deduct the waste out of their own, the individual store. They had to manage their waste in ordering to be profitable. So I wonder if there's a systemic problem with what the process is for Chipotle, or if it's if they let them get away with it just because they don't pay attention, or if they really makes them more money. And it would be interesting to know that if a $3.6 million or $10 million settlement is actually cost them less than tracking their food better.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's an intentional decision, because they know, like you were saying, they've had previous lawsuits. So this is not like, what? We had no idea. What are we doing wrong? So I just wonder if maybe paying the lawsuits is cheaper.
Yeah.
Than being really specific about food quality.
Right. Well, then the next recommendation I would have is for them to reassess their core values.
Oh my God, right?
If that's the case, because that's a good point. I mean, but can you imagine working in an organization where the conversation really is, I know we're probably going to make some people sick because this practice is not exactly 100% effective in terms of inventory controls.
Yeah.
But, we're willing to take that risk because it'll cost us less. We can sell more in the long run. Oh, man.
Yeah, but don't you think that's a lot of corporate vibe? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're not paying our employees very well, but we'll make more money. So
maybe.
You know what I mean? Like,
maybe.
Isn't that kind of corporate? That's the bad part of corporate, right? It's profit over people.
Well, I think yes. I think yes but business gets a bad rap too. Since the Enron scandal.
Right.
When that happened, I think then everybody was like, boo-hoo, business is bad no matter what.
Books. Yeah.
And so if you were, people were ashamed to even say they were business, I think, for a while. But yes, I do think, but I've worked in corporations where that was not ever.
I think there are values forward companies.
Yeah.
But I think that those are the good ones. I think there are a lot of bad ones that don't have the values and that worry more about the bottom line.
Yeah. They shouldn't, the people who are running businesses that way shouldn't be in food service.
I guess that's one distinction, right?
What I mean?
They shouldn't be in food service.
Because you think about, if you were doing something that was ethically questionable, but you weren't in food service and it didn't have to do with paying your people, and it wasn't about, it's always screwing somebody, but if it wasn't about screwing somebody directly, does it make it less ethical, more ethical? Like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it still make a sound? Interesting.
Yeah. So I think the thing about this is it feels a little bit like this is what we hate about corporate America. Could be that. And which, of course, if you prioritize profit over people, you're also probably have a shit culture, right, for your people too. So in this case, they're putting profit over their client's health or their customer's health, but that probably means they give, they probably don't give as much a hoot about their people either. So it seems like that they have to do a little values forward work and maybe no ego, like deal with egos and priorities, certainly.
Well, their budget will definitely look different in 2021, I would imagine.
I don't know, a $10 million fee, like what's their annual budget? Maybe this is just a pocket change.
Yeah, Could be. Could be.
Well, I hope if you got sick from Chipotle, you get a free burrito. Because that's what we all want to do.
And you get a free burrito.
We all want to go back and spend more money at the place that got us sick. Because they're clearly not fixing their problem. So I don't know.
Do what you want.
Do what you want. Do what you want. All right, so Q&A ideas. You want to do this one?
Yeah, I like that question.
You do that one.
I love working remotely. It has been something I've wanted to do for a long time, as long as I can remember. How do I persuade my boss to let me keep a part-time remote schedule post-COVID? I don't know if I know the answer to that question. I think the answer is good luck. But I was actually on a call yesterday for the Manufacturing Council that I sit on, and that was a big part of our conversation is that there are going to be a lot of people who are not physically essential on site who could work remotely, who are going to want to work remotely. And what do we, 35%
self-driven
of our population is self-driven. So 35% roughly is going to want to stay home, work from home, whether that's to be with small children or just because they like the environment.
Don't have to deal with humans.
Yeah. And so I think that is going to be a really big challenge because what we have had to prove now is that it works. And of course, I doubt anybody's going to really be able to 100% track efficiency and productivity just because the whole economy is kind of for shit right now. But it will be really interesting, I think, to see how this works. I guess if you wanted to persuade your boss, this is my backdoor secret HR advice to you. Start making a cohort of people who also want to do it because that's how that stuff works.
Yeah, but self-driven people, they won't think of that. So I think that's really good advice.
Yeah, so start calling the people you work with and say, man, wouldn't it be awesome if we just worked from home like 10 hours a week or whatever it is? And start putting together a plan, maybe what it looks like. This was my biggest pet peeve when I was in HR. If somebody wanted a special exception and they just came to me and said, I want a special exception, I would say, okay, well, what does that look like? I don't know. I just want it. So be sure that you have a solution to present also. Don't just rely on your HR resource or your supervisor, and just say, I want to stay home part-time. And then they'll say, well, what does that look like? I don't know. It looks like I'm not going to be in the office as much. So that would
think that's the way it's going to happen.
That would be my suggestion.
Yeah,
to start.
I like that because independents in particular would not think of either of those things, right? Because they're not organized. They're not detail oriented enough to think they're just going to figure it out, right? They're just going to get their work done. Don't worry about it. It'll happen. And then they also wouldn't think to gather buy-in. So that's really good advice. The other thing that you might do when you thought about those things is to start prepping your boss. Because if everyone is like super chaotic right now, a lot of bosses are trying to just figure out what the heck's going on, who's doing what. Start paying attention to how you work, when you work. So when the boss says, well, how am I going to know you're going to get your work done? No one's being productive right now. We can't get any work done. You can say, well, this is what I was supposed to do. This is what I did. So prove that you're actually being productive because there's a whole lot of people, i.e. most, are not nearly as productive working at home with kids, their dogs, their whatever. It's just too distracting. And we haven't had enough practice at it. So you might want to mention it to your boss early and say, hey, what do you think about me putting together a plan about me working from home part-time? And then even if they're like, no way, man, then you can still, at least you've planted the seed. And then as the time goes by and you can get back in there, when people start coming back to work and you want to stay home, then you can maybe start the conversation. Because the other thing they're not going to want to do is be all excited to get everyone back to the office and then have you go, yeah, but I don't want to go back. And then they're going to be like, tough shit, you're going to go anyway.
Yeah.
So most people are desperately missing spending time together or around other humans, adult humans especially. So, starting to like plant those seeds now might not be, or maybe call your HR department and say, hey, what do you think? I'm thinking about, I might want to stay home. I've been asking to stay home now that we're all here. What do you think my chances are? What kind of information would you need? And that you can work with them, because the HR person will be able to help you with that too. So.
Yeah, that made me think. One other suggestion I would make is you might want to suggest to your supervisor, HR, whoever it is, that you want to try it out, maybe tentatively, and not that you would ever not be allowed to come back to work full time, probably, but depending on where you're at, I do think that a lot of these organizations are going to say, gee, we don't need 2 floors if half of our people, in this really expensive building that we pay for every month in New York City or wherever. We don't need 2 floors. If half of our people work from home, we only need 1 floor. So I would say maybe request to do it tentatively to try it out, because you might actually find too that right now during all this chaos and change, and we're kind of settling into this because we have to, but for those of you who are fellow independents, that like we have to do it, so we can't control that. But once we gain our control back about where we want to be, you might be like, well, I don't want to be at home. I want to be in the office, or I feel like I'm missing things. So
that's a good point.
Just make sure that you have an out, I guess, I think that's
a good suggestion. And I think it'd be better received than saying, well, actually, I'm really glad I'm not seeing all of you people, and I want to continue to not see all you people. So yeah, I think those are great. Those are great tips. Talk to your HR person too. If you're from a big organization, because your boss sometimes can't make that decision themselves. So it might be worth checking it. All right. Are we ready for our sign?
Oh yeah.
Where's our sign?
Here we go.
Some good news.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, right. Jeez, let's get out of the way. Look at that awesome sign by the gorgeous and talented Joby and Peyton.
Yes.
All right. So good news. We would also like you to share your good news if you have any to share, because we would love to know what's going on in your world and what you're thinking good news is. Oh, well, there's Bill. Hi, Bill. And there's Jessica is also on. Oh. Well, hi, everybody.
We missed him.
Sorry, we didn't scroll the thing down far enough. All right. What do you want to start?
All right. So here's some good news. National Mutual Benefit. That is harder to say than you think. If you want something fun to do with your kids tonight, tell them to say that 5 times fast.
It's really because I want to say Mutual Omaha Wild Kingdom or something. I think that's mental weird space. Yeah.
So National Mutual Benefit donated $7,000 locally here in our area to and partnered with Redwater Kitchen.
Wait, did you just say partner?
Partnered?
Partnered. Okay. I thought you said partner.
Oh.
Like with the D. They partnered with...
Oh, partner. Hey, pard. No, I didn't say that.
Okay,
I did talk about my ranch background this morning.
I thought maybe that was still where you were at.
Partnered with Redwater Kitchen to create Feeding Our Heroes meal boxes. So these are for frontline workers. And all they have to do is contact the local restaurant, Redwater Kitchen, tell them what kind. There's like 3 or 4 options.
Like to-go boxes, different options. So
sandwiches.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Redwater Kitchen has an awesome chef, and Kyle knows his business. So if you're never eaten there and you'd like to try it, now is a great time, and because you will always go back. He's awesome.
It's delicious.
It's very delicious.
So there's some good news.
Another fun thing that's happening in Spearfish is that we have this howling thing at 8:00 at night. So apparently it's a national thing, but we in Spearfish have taken it on ourselves to really embrace this trend. And so what you do is at 8 p.m., you go outside and you actually howl like a wolf. Oh. And it is fun as a hell. And I tell you, there's nothing funner than going outside and howling. And then literally you can hear howling all around us up where I live. I don't know. Have you been out lately?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is it pretty nuts up there?
It's crazy because you can hear like where we live, we're kind of in a little bit of a bowl, and you
Yeah.
can hear it from like, as you can imagine, that it's like way over here.
Because she's kind of up on a hill, and so she kind of has all the whole town is probably
we
kind
live
of
like in an
echoing
echo
around
chamber.
you. Yeah. So it's really fun, and I tell you, every time I do it, I laugh out loud because it's just funny. Like you can always tell, like some little kid next door is like making crazy.
The dogs are all going crazy.
Yeah, so people have bells, and so it is really fun, and it's like this alone together idea where we're all isolating, but we come together all at 8:00 at night. And one of the local networks is gonna do a news piece on it tonight. Yeah. So if you're in the area in Spearfish, get out there and make lots of noise tonight.
Yeah.
So that's just really a fun, warm-hearted thing that we do.
Yeah.
You want to talk about anything else?
Running weather is here.
Weather.
Hopefully to stay. I don't know. I did 5.5 miles this morning. It's already kind of too hot. I wish it would be cooler without snowing.
Yeah.
That like would 40. Be 45, no snow, no wind.
Yeah. Well, the story is with the running or any exercise really that's really physical is that you feel like it's 15 degrees warmer than the ambient temperature.
Yeah.
So when it's 60, it feels 75. And of course I always wear the amount of clothes
for 90 degrees.
That's probably 10 degrees 90. Colder than it is out. So if it's 60, I'll probably wear like clothes like as if it's 45.
And turns the heat up to 75 in the office and then tells the rest of us to, because she's comfortable.
That's right. Oh. Well, I spend more time here than anyone else. So
I don't know lately if that is very true.
That's true. COVID has brought us together.
Yeah.
Somebody did ask us, by the way, how we were working together. And the fact of the matter is we all traveled at the same time. And then, so we all quarantined for the same 14 days. And so it's like, well, we've been quarantined for 14 days. We know we don't have it. And then we're all being super anal and careful with our households. And my father-in-law is on an oxygen. So we're being like crazy, crazy careful. So we we already did the quarantine thing and we sort of made sure we weren't carriers. So doesn't make any sense to not work together.
We also look each other's faces daily for those of you who are really concerned about our hygiene and
touch our faces all the time.
We won't tell you the rest.
I actually got somebody that was texting me during a big conference because apparently I was doing something. I don't know what I was touching. He's like, hey, you should be touching your face. I'm like, my hands are clean. I can touch my face if my hands are clean.
I am by myself.
But anyway, so all right, that's all for today. That's all the time we have. Please feel free to share. The turkeys go crazy too. Oh, funny, Jessica, I haven't noticed.
Oh.
Yeah, Jessica's selling hero boxes. They're called hero boxes. So when you call Redwater Kitchen, that's what you need to ask for. So, all right, everybody. Well, be well, hang in there. And I've had 2 people yesterday tell me that they missed hugging people. And then I thought about your stabilizer comment, which I don't think these nice people have heard. I think you should share your stabilizers. That stabilizers are...
Oh, stabilizers are following all the rules and
sitting around waiting.
Sitting around anxiously waiting for the moment they can hug again.
They can hug other people.
Hug other people again.
That's right. And I definitely heard that from at least 2 people yesterday, 2 tea-driven people yesterday. So we know you're feeling it. Hang in there. Keep at it. It's working. So hopefully we'll all get to see each other soon.
All right. Lead powerfully.
Change the world. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, that's not
Goodbye, everybody. Elmo outro.
I was going to say